be no personality. The only thing that will exist here is character, which is much different than personality. It is resonating from the highest mind we have. The highest, the true mind of the being is expression. It only is expressing. There's no judgment going on. There's no deciding going on. There's no mind weighing the pros and cons of loving this person. There's just that love. And it's not questioned. It's just freely given to anyone. And it can never be wronged. It doesn't. The being can't be wronged by anything. So the more that one decides to look upon what ails them and focus on it, it starts to change. They start to notice the flutterings of their own soul, pointing things out to them. And a lot of times in the beginning, in the early stages, it's pointing out behavior in other people that you used to do. And when you're reminded of it, it makes you start to feel that gap between what you're becoming and what you're going to stop being. That right there, that's the deciding factor. It's the line in the sand that once you cross, there's no coming back. Right? And we feel that. We feel that there is a great sense of loss. Right? When you go out in the world and you go to your regular haunts, the places you've always gone, you're now a different person. You're feeling that sense of loss. You're feeling that sense of disconnect from this situation. Right? And the more you feel that, the more people are coming up to you. What's wrong? What's happening to you? Do you need help? Maybe you should see a shrink. Maybe Prozac is the right drug for you. Right? And they do this to you. And one of the hardest things to do is to stand in your light. Because they're relating to a part of you that is still in existence, but dying. They're always relating to that ego mind. That's where we know each other, right? We don't know each other energetically, being to being. We know each other by saying, hi, my name's Chris. Hi, my name's Joe. What do you do? I'm a carpenter. What do you do? I'm a mail delivery guy. Wow, we know each other. What kind of music do you like? It tells us nothing about the being. So we don't relate being to being. But that's beginning to happen on a larger and larger scale. In a town like this, it's really hard. Because the light is off. It really is. I mean, you go into the Springs, they're letting that place just go to crap. Right? I mean, no money coming into that place. No one wants to pay their taxes. Now you got no lights. You got no trash service. What's next? You going to turn the water off on you? Probably.
I like it with less lights.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Well, it's nice.
But for single moms and kids, it really sucks.
No, but
especially in a place where Looney Tunes are running all. I mean, I was in California. There were 4 child abductions in the last 2 days. They do this very weird thing out there, though. It flashes on the TV. It flashes on the freeways, though.
Amber alerts.
Yeah, and I mean, they get right down to, like, today we were driving to the airport, and it was child abduction, silver Dodge van with a dent in the door. What I thought was interesting about that, of course, the abduction is horrible. It always is. Was watching the people around us. They're all looking to see if that silver van's next to them. So it's kind of strange. There's this camaraderie that's coming out of it. Everybody has turned into the law. Not a vigilante, but it's weird. It's like, and I think this is how, maybe one of the ways that people are going to come out of this psychosis. Because their awareness is present, and it has nothing to do with them. For nothing selfish. They're looking for that silver van. And it was weird, driving down that freeway, every single person in every single car, you could see them looking. And I could hear them. Where's that silver van? Let's get that kid back. Where's that silver van? I'm like, this is really intense.
Well, it's like one thing that you can make everybody join in on, a collective, cohesive consciousness to feed that energy.
Right.
And it's something that everybody, 99.9% of the people can agree on.
Yeah,
it's a bridge.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was watching a program on, I think it was Egypt or something, when I was in California relaxing, and all of a sudden it goes off, and there's the screen, 8-year-old girl abducted, all the information they had. She was found 3 hours later. It's like, oh, wow, now this is what you should use technology for. But that sense of camaraderie, I think that might be a big part of it. Is the sense of camaraderie that has no personal satisfaction attached to it. That's well-being. Because well-being is already satisfied. So then when it extends itself, it's not looking for anything in return. How could it? It's already satisfied. What's it going to get? It's going to satisfy it beyond its own satisfaction. Nothing.
And the base of all that cohesiveness is love.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It returns people to it.
You know, like you were saying, it's like everyone gets this love vibe and said, we'll get her back. You know?
Yeah. And I notice it in situations, even in grocery stores. You'll see two people, right? You can sense there's a connection between them. They know it too. So they start to engage. It's very shaky, right? And then all of a sudden, something crystallizes, and they'll allow themselves to be expressing from the heart, to allow themselves to share well-being with another. And suddenly you start seeing this exchange go back and forth. All the defenses are down, all the notions are gone, all the judgments are erased, and wow, there's an experience. There's an actual communication going on. You can watch it. But it's always in the beginning. It's always shaky for me. That ego mind is like, oh, where are you going? What are you doing? Don't do this. Don't do this. You're putting yourself in danger. Right? And you're just, and there's that part of your being that really is disconnected from the ego, that is empowered, that really does know it all, that knows its life itself, that says, no, you're not French. Just go away. And it's a slow process to come to that. And that's the chasm, is we have to, the mind's got to stop somehow, and it ain't going to do it on its own. It's not going to relinquish control one day. I mean, you could feel bliss. All it's going to tell you is, I made that possible for you. It didn't, but it's going to say that. And you just have to go, no, like the bad kid that it is. The juvenile behavior in us is the ego. I don't want to. Wah! That's the ego. Right? And it's weird because, the being is right there next to it. Right? And now life force, it decides what happens. It's calling being up. It's calling for it to rise up to clean up this mess. So the next set of entities that decide they want to be humans can have a nice time of it instead of being born into a prison. Right? Being born into a toxic environment. Can it go on toxic? Yeah, until it explodes. What a shame to let that happen. I mean, really. You're not getting anything out of it. You can drive your car to hell and back. What did you really get out of that? Except for more bills, more maintenance bills on your car. Really nothing. Right? So, I mean, we're polluting the environment for the sake of nothing. I mean, if it was, we're going to pollute it, but what we're actually doing is we're going to turn ourselves to the light and get out of here so we can stop polluting it, then I think, your pollution might be a little bit more justified. Polluting it to the point to get you out of here so you stop with all the pollution altogether, that might be okay. But to do it just for the sake of it, for the sake of we don't know what else to do. I mean, really, most of this technology that's coming out, no one needs it. But now they can't live without it. It's because they don't know what to do. They're easily. It's so weird how easily people are led when there's no one leading anyone. Everybody is their own separate beam of life force, well informed in that beam. There's really no advice anyone can give anybody that's going to really fit. You're getting it from the same place they are. It's just that, to me, I think, when two people connect, the thing they're doing is holding the other's hand while they relinquish some of the ego, and then they hold your hand while you're relinquishing some of it, and then eventually you get to know one another when they're both gone. Two beings exchanging energy is fantastic. I mean, you start to see the point of life. It's to bring well-being to well-being, have well-being merge with well-being, and therefore out of that springs this phenomenal experience, a phenomenal event that, yes, the event is temporary, but the presence that one arrives at through it is permanent. And really, this is what life is asking for. Life is asking for us to give up these limitations, to give up these divisions, to stop judging one another based on what they drive, what they wear, whether they have a home. I mean, the million reasons we have to judge people. To give it up. Look within the person, from within yourself. Make that connection. Watch that energetic rise up. It will tell you what it's for. You won't have to go, I wonder what that was, and I wonder what this is about. It'll be evident. Eventually, where you arrive is in the present moment. Now. Which by far is the most awesome experience. I mean, everybody's heard it, be here now. Nothing like the present moment. You hear it, but it's like, what in the hell does any of that mean? Well, when you're in it, it means everything. And when you're not, it don't mean a damn thing. Because it's not for your mind. So it's not an experience that you can put together in your memory. Even if you remembered something different, you cannot make it happen again that way. Right? You can just know that you felt better than this. But there's no memory of how that felt. There's just a longing for something that you had felt at one time. Right? The longing alone says the feeling's not present. It cannot be remembered and put forth as reality. Right? But it can indicate to you that it is possible, once again. Here's a moment it's possible. Because here's something that standing in the present moment, finally arriving there, showed me. That's the only place life is. Because if life were lived in the past, the next moment couldn't happen. Where would it come from? Right? If life were in the future, who's maintaining the present? Who's making sure the next moment comes around for us to experience? So where is life? It's right now. And it's a razor's edge. It is as thin as a razor's edge. It is the intensity. It is everything behind it is the past. Everything out in front of it is the future. But where life is the narrow band that we are sitting in. The present. And all the energy throughout all the universes, throughout all the dimensions, exists in that place. A way that it's been stated, Krishnamurti stated it this way, Nisargadatta stated it this way, that the present has an authenticity that the past and the future don't. The present has a realness that needs no description, unlike the past or the future. Right? The only way for the past to exist is for your mind to talk about it. The only way for the future to exist is for your mind to project into it. Because all that's happening is right here and now. Right? And really, no one's here. Because the minute we step into our mind, the mind knows nothing of the present moment. It doesn't know what to do with it. So if your mind is still in its infantile state, it sees the present and it runs to the past. Tries to make the present look like the past, or tries to